My sister's new boyfriend mocked me at dinner. Everyone laughed. Mom told me to stop making the family look bad, so I let them talk until he mentioned his job. Then I pulled out my phone and watched their smiles fade. I've always been the quiet one in my family. While my sister Vanessa is loud, dramatic, and thrives on attention, I prefer keeping my head down and working hard. She's brought home plenty of boyfriends over the years, each one more obnoxious than the last, but Derek was something special. Mom invited everyone over for Sunday dinner to meet him. Derek arrived in a BMW he clearly couldn't afford, designer clothes with tags practically still attached, and this smugness that filled the entire room. Within 5 minutes, he was holding court like he owned the place. "So you work in IT?" Derek asked me, that condescending smile already forming. "Like, you fix computers and stuff?" "Something like that," I said, cutting my chicken. "That's cute." He laughed. "Very practical. I'm in finance, real estate investment consulting. We're closing a deal next week that's worth more than most people make in a decade." Vanessa beamed at him like he just cured cancer. My parents nodded approvingly. Dad even leaned forward with interest. The shots kept coming throughout dinner. Derek made jokes about my little tech job, asked if I'd tried getting a real career, and even suggested I could learn a thing or two from how he networked. Every jab landed while my family laughed along. When I barely reacted, Mom kicked me under the table. "Don't be rude," she hissed quietly. "Engage with Derek. He's successful." I just nodded and took another bite. Then Derek started talking about his company. "We're actually hiring," he announced proudly. "Junior analysts, entry-level stuff. Maybe you could apply. I mean, I could put in a good word." He winked. "Help you move up from the basement IT cave." More laughter. Vanessa squeezed his arm adoringly. "We work with only the most prestigious clients," Derek continued. "Fortune 500 companies, major developers. Our CEO personally vets every deal." That's when I finally looked up. "What company did you say?" "Meridian Capital Group," Derek said, puffing his chest. "You've probably never heard of it." I pulled out my phone slowly, opened my email, found the thread I needed, then I placed the phone face up on the table. "Is your CEO named Richard Westmore?" I asked calmly. Derek's smile flickered. "Yeah." "Why?" "Because Richard and I had a meeting yesterday," I said, "about the cybersecurity infrastructure for your entire company. See, I don't fix computers. I'm a senior security consultant. Your company hired my firm after your last breach." The table went silent. I scrolled through my emails, turning the phone so everyone could see. In fact, here's an email from Richard thanking me for identifying critical vulnerabilities in your system, and here's another one discussing the implementation timeline. Derek's face went from tan to pale to greenish. I didn't know There's more," I continued. "During our security audit, we flagged several concerning irregularities in junior analyst accounts, unauthorized access attempts, personal use of company resources, expense report discrepancies." I looked directly at Derek. One account in particular caught our attention. Belonged to someone who claimed business expenses for a BMW lease, designer clothes, and a weekend trip to Vegas that was definitely not company-related. Vanessa's mouth fell open. Mom's fork clattered against her plate. "We're presenting our findings to Richard next week," I said, pocketing my phone, "including our recommendation about certain personnel who pose security and ethical risks." Derek stood up abruptly, his chair scraping loudly. "I should go. Early morning tomorrow." "Of course," I said. "I'm sure you'll want to update your resume." He practically ran out. Vanessa chased after him, but he was already peeling out of the driveway. She came back inside, mascara running. "You humiliated him!" she screamed. "He humiliated himself," I replied. "I just had the receipts." Mom started to say something, then stopped. Dad was actually fighting back a smile. 3 days later, Derek was fired. Vanessa blocked me on everything. Mom left a voicemail apologizing for not taking my work seriously. Last night at family dinner, just the four of us, Dad asked about my projects, actually listened. When he started to brag about my work to his golf buddy on speakerphone, I didn't stop him. Sometimes, the quiet ones know exactly when to speak up.